A or B or S. You already done? With everything?
Okay, hey, we're starting. I need you to be quiet. Pay attention here. F of 2. So when we plug that in, we get 2 squared minus 3 times 2 plus 5. That is 4 minus 6 plus 5. 4 minus 6 is negative 2. So you end up with 3. So you say F of 2 equals 3. Now I know a lot of you just type it in your calculators, but that's the one thing you got to watch. If you mistype it, then you don't know whether you're wrong. Sometimes it's good just to, thank you, go through it mentally. All right, how about F of 0, Morgan Candle? What you put down for 0?
5.
The answer is 5.
Good.
Okay,
Easy
so
one.
0 squared minus 3 times 0 plus 5 give you 5. Okay. Oh, Christian, what do you have for the last one?
45.
45. Now, did anybody get what's 5? That what you had the first time? Okay, yeah, make sure you put that in parentheses. So when I plug in negative 5 squared minus 3 times negative 5 plus 5, 25 plus 15 plus 5, 45. All right, we're going to do the practice test now. We're going to split you up, okay? And so just gonna, some of you stay here, some of you are going to go. So you're going to stay, you're going. Stay, Joe, you're going. Stay. What?
Practice.
I know this is
Practice test.
Oh, we're doing it together.
Oh, all right.
You stay. You go.
Do I need a paper?
You go. Yeah, take all your stuff.
I go.
You go. You stay. You go. You go.
Oh, let's go.
Morgan, you stay. Connor, you go. Evan, you stay. Preston, you go. Austin, you stay. Ryan, you go. Colin, you stay. Rachel, you go. You stay. You go. Take all your stuff. Take everything. What are you doing? Oh my God.
Oh, you went.
What did you just say? Those aren't even close.
You got keys?
Cheese.
No. You got keys.
Little key.
Yeah.
There's two there, like 3:30.
Yeah.
When school's out.
What?
Still press down.
Yeah.
Cheese, man. Oh my God.
Just read a life.
All my way.
Alright, we're gonna scoot on up front here. Come on up front, Jay Lee. Let's see, we got.
You said that we were doing a practice test, we all have to look at each other's papers, so people that are next to each other call them more late.
Thank you.
I can move anywhere I want.
Yeah. Up, close.
Wow. Activity.
Alright, so we'll do it. Is that for me? Yep. Alright, she's actually in that next room. Okay, we're gonna do the practice test together, just kind of go through it. And then talk through your answers. Now, put your answers on that sheet we already started. Okay, that's why we had started that other sheet, so that you can just do that. Don't write all over this sheet at this point. So start on that other sheet. Now, I gave you 2 sheets of paper. The other sheet has answers to just certain ones because of it's easier to have it written. So take a look at the one that says the answer sheet. Practice test answer sheet. What numbers are on there? What numbers are on there? It's what, 7? I want to make sure everybody sees. Morgan, what else?
7, 8, 11, 12,
And all right, there's a couple in the back.
and 13 and 14.
Okay, these we're gonna do. You gotta remind me when we get to them. We'll do them on that sheet itself, just to make it just easier to organize. Okay. Everything else goes on your own. All right, now take a look at number 1. All right. It says write a possible situation for the graph. Water level, time. Okay, so the water level goes up, it stays constant, it goes all the way down, goes back up. All right, in a case here, just think about this. Think of a bathtub. Let's just say you filled up the bathtub. Let's say your little brother took a bath, or that would be the time where it's constant. Drain the tub, you filled it back up. Okay, something simple as that. So go ahead and let's put that down. Okay, so you fill. Your little brother took a bath. Drained the tub and then filled it up again. Okay. You could use a sink, let's say, as well. Like you fill the sink up, did some dishes, drained it, filled it again.
So are we allowed to write on this paper?
So right to on your other sheet. Okay. At this point, you should do everything on that. Do everything on your own paper for right now. Never read, show your work on a separate sheet of paper. So do all of this on that separate sheet. Okay. Okay. Separate sheet.
Yeah, no, that is circles.
Number 2. Okay, awesome. All right, get that separate sheet. All right, so now this one here, this is number 1. Don't do this. This is for number 7. Okay, and this one. Yep. Just started on that one. So do number the next one. I'll tell you when to go to that one. So just do number 2 on there. Okay. Okay, now, all right, all these problems are on your test tomorrow, so just make sure that we know how to do these. All right, take a look. It says give the domain and range of the relation. All right, as you look at that one, Jay Lee, do you know how to do number 2? Do you know how to give me the domain and range? How confident on a scale of 1 to 10 are you?
9.
You're confident to a 9, so that's really good. So what do you think the domain is?
-3 and -2 equal to -2. So -3 is less than or equal to x less than or equal to 2.
Okay, she is correct. That is how you would write that. You get the furthest point on the left, the furthest point on the right. And that is, and since it is a graph, that's where you have to do the less than or equal to. So write your domain down as that. And you have to use that less than or equal to. You have to use that. All right, now, Josh, how confident are you on the domain, or on the range?
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. All right, so what do you think the range is?
It's -2
Okay,
and +4.
so how do I write it?
Exactly how you wrote the first one.
So,
The negative number first.
tell me the whole thing.
-2
Okay,
is less than or equal to x.
you just told me not X.
I
You,
meant y.
okay,
Is greater than, no, equal to, yeah. The sign above it, and then
well, how do you say that sign?
less than or equal to
Okay,
4.
4, okay. All right, correct, 10 out of 10 there. So you go to 4, the lowest one is -2, it hits everything in between. So that's how you have to write that. Okay, is how you have to write that. All right, as you look at number 3, same thing. All right. It says give the domain and range, tell whether the relation is a function. Okay. So now, all right, go ahead and see if you can list the domain and range. If you're not quite sure, if you're not a 10 out of 10, then just wait and we'll get it together. Okay, you can do it when we do it. Let's see. Okay. All right, what do you think there, Colin? For domain?
-3 is less than or equal to x is less than or equal to 3.
Okay, good. And Amanda, how about range?
-2 is less than or equal to y, less than or equal to 2.
All right, now the big one here, is it a function?
No.
Okay, no, it's not a function. So it's not a function. Now here's the big key here for tomorrow, is it will say y. And you gotta tell me that answer, Colin.
Doesn't pass the vertical line.
And for a graph, you can say doesn't pass the vertical line test. I can draw a vertical line that hits it at more than one point. Okay, so doesn't pass, since it doesn't pass, the vertical line test. Okay. All right, identify the independent and dependent variables in the situation. Independent, dependent. The dependent one is based upon or depends on the independent. So you think about that. And sometimes, like I said, it's not specifically written down. You gotta infer it from the statement. So if you look at this, it says the cost of getting new carpet is based on the size of the room. Okay, Colin.
Independent is size of the room and the dependent is cost.
Okay, good. Size of the room. And cost. And you can say cost of the carpet or just cost. Okay, 99 times out of 100, my cost is the dependent variable. Okay, I'm trying to think of a situation where it's not, I can't, but I don't want to say it's for 100%. But usually the independent or the dependent is the cost. It's going to depend upon something else, size of the room, amount of paint for that. Okay, so number 5. I think that's on the back then. Okay, let's see, data was collected. All right, from a random group of students and the hours spent studying for a vocabulary test and the score received on the test. Identify the correlation you expect to see between hours studied and test score. Okay, what do you think for that, Evan? Positive, negative, or no? Positive. I expect it positive. Okay, and that makes sense. I mean, we're not looking for like a random case. Okay, that may not fit this. The more hours studied, the higher the score, so it'd be a positive correlation. Like the one we did in class, is there a relationship between the shoe size, your shoe size, and the score on the test? No, there shouldn't be. Okay, that would be no correlation. All right, 6. Determine the relationship between the x and y values. Write an equation. You must, and some of you didn't do this on the homework, you must put y equals. You got to start with y equals. All right, take a look, see if you can figure out what the relationship would be. Okay, what would be the equation that matches those points?
Y equals negative 6x.
Alright, he says y equals negative 6x. All you gotta do is plug in and see if it works. When I plug in a 1, do I get back negative 6? When I plug in 2, do I get back negative 12? When I plug in 3, do I get back negative 18? So that's gotta be your answer. Okay, that's gotta be your answer. Alright, now we're at number 7. Alright, this says express it as a table, a graph, and a mapping diagram. Alright, this is where you have that extra sheet there. This is so we can organize a little bit better. So put answer to number 7 on here. Okay, so it's just gonna save you a little bit of time. So if the first thing it says is a table, a graph, and a mapping diagram. Well, the first thing is the graph. So draw that out where you have it drawn, and just basically what you're doing is you're plotting those points. Two, 5, 3, 2, 4, 1, 5, 3, and 5, 7. Okay, so there's your graph. All right, X, Y table. Okay, just list them in a table. X, Y. So that's going to be 2, just list the 2 and then the 5. And then just keep going right down the order. 3, 2, 4, 1, 5, 3, 5, 7. And then go ahead and do the mapping diagram. Now list these in order. So we just have a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5. And do not list anything twice. 2, 3, 4, 5. What is the order of the range values? It's 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, right? Draw an arrow from the domain to the range. So 2 goes to what? 2 goes to 5. Make sure you have an arrowhead on that. 2 goes to 5. And then 3 goes to 2. And then 5 goes to 3. 4 goes to 1. 5 goes to 7. Okay, now you got on your sheet right there, you got a little bit extra. It says function, yes or no, right?
It's not.
Not a function. Okay. And now here, how do you tell me how it's not a function? You cannot say that doesn't pass the vertical line test. You cannot say that in this case. Colin?
5 goes to 2 different numbers.
Yes, the number 5 goes to 2 different values. Okay, so if any member of the domain goes to 2 different values, it's not a function. Since 5 either goes to or is paired with okay, so that's 7. All right, 8, you're still on this sheet here. A music club costs $10 to join. Each song that is purchased costs $1.50. Let S represent the number of songs. Identify the independent and dependent variables, and write a rule and function notation for the situation. Okay, function notation. All right, this one tends to be hard, or just missed, I guess, a little bit. Sam, you know how to do this one? You know, what do you think the independent and the dependent would be?
Would the dependent be the cost and the independent be each song, or depends on songs that are purchased?
So number of songs that are purchased, number of songs. So the dependent would be the cost. It's not $10. It's be the, and another way you might word it is total cost. Dependent or independent. Number of songs purchased. Okay, your rule has to be in function notation. So let me give you a clue. Since it said your variable is s, right, started as f of s, you have to have like f of something. And so since it tells you gotta start with f of s, because it tells you to use s for your variable, okay? Well then, what's it gonna be? Amanda, what do you think the rule would then be?
150s plus 10.
Okay, 150s plus 10. Or 10 plus 150s. That would be the exact same thing. So that would be good. Okay? All right, good. Perfect. All right, so that's number what? 8? Oh, there you are. You can just sit down here and we're going through the practice test. Yep. And go ahead and get a sheet of paper when you can, so we can talk to it. All right, so that's 8. All right, back to your own sheet of paper for 9 and 10. So 9 and 10. All right, you should be able to answer this one. We keep doing at the beginning of class. You do 9 and 10, do it on your own sheet. See what you come up with. This is just some answer sheet for some of these problems, just to make life easier.
Okay.
But this is not actual problems. So 9
You
and
just
10.
write this down here.
Yep. 9 and 10 right there. Okay. You're actually on hold with that, right? All right. Jay Lee, I got this. I just gotta go through it. For that. All right. For the first one, f of negative 2. Austin, did you finish that first one?
I don't know if I'm right though, I think I'm wrong.
What'd you get?
-1.
Negative. No, you're right.
Oh, okay.
Negative 7 times negative 2 minus 15. That's positive 14 minus 15 is negative 1. So you would say when x equals negative 2, f of negative 2 is negative 1. So that's correct. Okay. London, did you plug in 3?
Yes.
What'd you get?
I got 6.
You got 6. So negative 7 times 3. You sure?
Wait, give me a second. I forgot to put the negative on the second.
All right, do that. That changes life.
Yeah, maybe. Negative 36.
Negative 36, because negative 7 times 3 is negative 21 minus 15 is negative 36. So that gives me f of 3 is negative 36. All right, good. Morgan, I don't think we got you yet. What's f of, for the second one, f of 5?
60.
60. So let's see here. X squared is 25 times 3. Double check that.
70.
70. Get set, everyone else get 70?
See,
Okay, 70. So 3, because 5 squared is 50. No, it's not. 5 squared is 25. 3 times 25 is 75. So f of 5 is 70. All right, how about f of negative 4? This tends to be the most missed one. What do you got, Jaylee? 43. I believe that is right. 3. So negative 4 squared is 16. That is 48. 3 times 16 is 48 minus 5, and it does give me 43. Okay, it does give me 43. All right, good. For that one. All right, so that's 10. All right, 11. Back to right here. Back to that answer sheet. So because it's graphing and it has graphs on it. So right there, 11. Now, what's it say at the top for 11? For on that answer sheet. Don't connect the dots because they give you the domain. Okay, and they tell you those are the only values you want to plot. So you got y equals 3x plus minus 2. Now on your answer sheet, is there an xy chart? So what goes under the x column? Negative 2. What else? 0. Yep, so negative 2, 0, 2, and 4. All right, do you know what type of figure this should be when we plot the dots at this point? Just without doing any work. Okay, Amanda, do you know what type of figure it should be?
A line.
Should be a line. Okay, and how do we know it's a line? Okay, or how do you know it's a line, Colin?
Well, there's no exponents,
Okay,
and that was the other one.
and what? You
I
forgot the
forgot
other one?
the other one.
All right, Josh, you know why it should be a line?
it's going up.
Yeah, I need more than that. Just by looking at the equation. Just by looking at the equation, you should know that's a line. Not sure? Did you know it was a line?
No.
No?
There's no real number thing.
No, I wouldn't say that.
What?
Okay.
The number is increasing, so there's a negative in the equation.
No, it has nothing to do with why it's a line. All right, as you look at the equation, if it has just an x, there's no absolute value, and there's no x squared. So it doesn't matter, like y equals 2x minus 3, y equals 7x, y equals 8x plus 5. If it just has an x, it's automatically going to be a line. Okay, if it has an x squared or absolute value, then we get a different shape. So now plug in those numbers, and then go ahead and see what you get. Fill that in. Plug in 3x, plug in those values. And so when I get those negative 2, 3 times negative 2 is negative 6, minus 2 should be negative 8. I get negative 2. I get 4. And it looks like I get 10. Bless you. All right, fill in that chart. Now plot those points. And I'm going to plot them over here. Negative 2, negative 8. I should get 0, negative 2. I should get 2, 4. And I should get 4, 10. And if you get something like it's way, out of line, then it means you probably graphed it wrong. Okay, so number 12. What does it say under your directions, Colin, for number 12 on the answer sheet?
Connect the dots since you may choose any domain values. Be sure to draw arrowheads on both sides of the graph.
Okay. So now they don't tell us what to plot. Now, but I did tell you, even though they don't tell you, and you theoretically could just pick any numbers, we don't want to just pick random numbers. What are we going to pick? What do you got there, Jaden?
-2, -1, 0, 1, 2.
Yep, do that. -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. Now remember, this is the absolute value, so absolute value should look like a what? A V. Got to be a perfect V. Okay, so you gotta have that in your mind. It should be a V. Draw arrowheads. Absolute value of -2. Remember, we're gonna plug this in. But then you have to add 4. After you take the absolute value, that's 2. 2 plus 4 is 6. Okay, that should be 6. What about when you plug in -1? Okay, -1 ends up giving me 5. And 0 gives me 4. 1 gives me 5. And 2 gives me 6. All right, plot those points, draw the graph, and then make sure you put arrowheads on it as well. All right, let's keep going, because I want to make sure we get through this. 0, 4, 1, 5, 2, 6. Okay, looks like that. All right, 13. We're still on here. What should this graph look like? Y equals 3x squared plus 2. It's got to be a U. It's called a parabola. It's got to be a U shape. If it looks like a snake, that means you did not put your negative number in parentheses when you figured this out. 3x squared plus 2. All right, you plug in -2 first. We're going to do -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. All right, so let's plug in -2 and see what you get. All right, what's that come out to be?
14.
14. All right, now I know does your graph go all the way up to 14? All right, well, we'll just have to estimate there and go up above it. Yep, we're on the back of that answer. So 14, plug in -1. What do I get for that? 5? Yep. 0 gives me 2. Plug in 1 and 2. I should get 5 and 14. All right, when I plot those numbers, -2, 14, my graph's a little bit nicer here. Or easier to work with, I should say. Go, whoops. There you go. Okay, yeah, I got the -1 and -2 a little bit wider, so it goes to 14. Plus 2, I should have -2 on there. I think I had changed that to -2 at some point. All right, 14. Draw a scatter plot. This is still on your answer sheet. Three, 5, 6, 8.5. You take those, yep. So 3, 5, draw on there. Put that down. So 3, 5. Let me see something here. Oh, I need it. And so 3, 5 is a point. What's that? Let me grab it. What's that second point? 6, 8.5. So 6, 8.5. Third one is 5, 9. Fourth one is 2, 4.5. 7, 9. 4, 7.5. 8, 11. 1, 3.5. Okay. What's that? Or what was it? So it should be 4, 7.5.
Oh my god, I did say multiple.
Hey, what's the correlation then? Because that's what it's asked for on your sheet, right? Positive, negative, or zero? Positive correlation. Now I can do 15 on here as well. Use a scatter plot from problem 14. Draw the line of best fit and predict what the y value will be when x equals 10. Okay. The line of best fit, remember, you do not connect the points. You try and draw the line. Now it's a heck of a lot easier for me, because look at this. Would that be the line of best fit? No. Even though this one goes through, would this line be? No, you want to go through at the same angle as many as you can and extend it all the way, and it's got to be a straight line. It may hit a lot of points, it may hit no points. You got to draw that in there. You got to draw that in there. Okay? Now, according to this, for 15, what will my y value be when x is 10? So you go here, according to your line, you go to 10 and you go all the way up. And what does it look like my y value is?
No,
I got about 13 and a half. So you may have a different answer though, Colin.
Oh, I was gonna say 13.
13, so 13 or 13 and a half. Okay, 13 or 13 and a half. All right, bell's getting ready to ring, but let me show you this. Hey, looking at this, is this a function? Is 16 a function? No, because 2 goes to 1, 2 goes to. Hey, right, real quick before you leave, if you want this, if you do this assignment, I was gonna give you bonus.
Extra credit?
Yeah.
Alright, I'll do it.
I'll do it.
Well, I
Why
gotta.
not?
I can't find it. It'll be on Canvas. It'll be on Canvas. It'll be an assignment if you do an assignment. Bonus on the test. What the heck happened?
That was a little close. I didn't even notice. You were like maybe 3 inches away from me.